every goddamn day, every like week, maybe even every 5 days, there's new video, there's new footage unearthed from JD Vance talking some real weird stuff, creepy stuff, either talking about how cat ladies don't deserve to vote, or how post-menopausal women should basically be ejected into outer space because they serve no purpose. Or in this case, there's full context here, and I apologize to actually play a lot of this, but you know how blowhards are. They take a long time to say something real simple. All they want to do is be like, bitches are stupid and they belong in the kitchen. But instead they have to like make it, they have to Yaleify it a bit. And so here he is speaking about higher education. I believe speaking about Yale Law School specifically. And there's broader context to it, which is very funny. But here is what he's saying about women who have opted not to have children, are no longer capable of having children, and instead are crying into their pools of money, as I'm putting it.
I have fully developed views on this, but to me what it is sort of a value system to replace the fact that they're all fundamentally atheist or agnostic. They have no real value system. Their only value system is achieve in a very conventional way. And so
okay, venture capitalist. What are you talking about? So it's okay for you? You can achieve, you're a fucking venture capitalist, but they've been taught that it's okay for me. Okay, that's just one of my many critiques, but let's keep going.
So the idea that somehow they're pursuing racial or gender equity is like the value system that gives their life meaning. Well, of course, they all find that value system leads to misery, leads to unhappiness. And so
in other words, he's saying that their value system, because they're not finding value in their careers, their value system is simply now arguing for gender equity and racial equity. Like, truly the most reactionary take.
So I think that what happens is, like, whenever you really pursue something, right? Like, let's say a doctor gives you a medicine to cure a disease and it doesn't work.
I'm just going to preempt it and say it makes no sense.
The patient gets worse. Well, you can conclude one of two things. Either the medicine isn't working, or the patient was so sick that what they need is even more of the medicine that you originally prescribed. And I think the gender inequity stuff is like, we need more of the medicine. Okay, clearly this value set has made me a miserable person who can't have kids because I already, passed the biological period when it was possible. And I live in a 1,200 square foot apartment in New York and I pay $5,000 a month for it. But I'm really better than these other people. What I'm going to do is project my like racial and gender sensitivities on the rest of them.
I feel like this sounds like white conservative guy just watched Sex in the City, and he's like, the problem is that they're unhappy, and there they are, and they've got their $5,000 Manhattan apartments, and they've passed their prime, but they're wondering if they should adopt, but then Charlotte undergoes IVF, and anyway, the point is, if they never decided to become a writer, maybe Carrie could have just been a mom. Like, doesn't that sound like you're like, dude, I'm pretty sure you just watched Sex in the City as like a old rich white guy. Like, I think that might have happened to you. But here he is, and this is my favorite, as someone who has a child, as someone who decided to, do it, have a kid. Who knows? Let's hope the Patreon does well. The idea that you are automatically miserable living in a 1,200 square foot apartment in Manhattan that you somehow can afford $5,000 a month, that sounds fucking baller to me. That does not sound sad. That sounds very chill. That sounds like you earned your money, you spent your money, and you get to go out to very nice restaurants, and no, you don't have to bring the baby and set her up with an iPad and then face the wrath and judgment of people who are like, I can't believe you're giving the kid an iPad. And you're like, I know, I'm just ruining the kid, but I just want to sit and have a regular meal for just like 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Do I sound happy? I am happy. I'm very happy with my decisions. The point is that So are the people who decided to not have kids. Why are you so weird about this? Why are you so invested in what other people decided to do with their fucking lives? And my favorite part about this line, and there's more context to it that actually makes it worse. But my favorite part about this line is that, again, as I mentioned, the idea that you're using an anti-capitalist critique to shit talk feminism. Meaning you're saying, oh, all you strove for is like to work, whatever, 80 hours a week, and it's too much, and now you're not fulfilled, and things. That's like, no, you just described capitalism. This has nothing to do with feminism. This is described with our overly career focused culture. Our your only worth is how much money you make. You've just described like the culture of hyper capitalism and, fucking working yourself to the bone in the rat race. That's all you've described. And that is both the plight of men and women. They're not different from you just because they're in the same rat race. Like, notice how he doesn't apply any of that to himself. It's not he does fine because he's a man and I'm built to work myself to the bone. No, you're not. Not at all. So there's that, but my favorite is Kamala HQ put this video out because there is some staffer on that campaign who is being paid to dig into all of the JD Vance podcast appearances, weird, whatever the fuck this show is, Truth. I just see Truth and some weird symbol logo in the corner that looks kind of sus. And so they're unearthing all of this stuff. And the best is some of the people who reply to these videos are like, nuh-uh, you're lying about it. In fact, there's a whole account called Kamala HQ Lies, which is great. They replied to the video, "The lie. Kamala HQ shares deceptively clipped video claiming JD Vance called women who can't have kids miserable." And so I looked at the full video that they posted, and I will quote it here as they quoted it. JD Vance says, quote, "You have to have people at Yale Law School. You have women who think that truly the liberationist path is to spend 90 hours a week working in a cubicle at McKinsey instead of starting a family and having children. And I think that those people, in their defense, they genuinely believe that the path of liberation is to work 90 hours in a cubicle at McKinsey. What they don't realize, and I think some of them do eventually realize it, thank God, is that is actually a path to misery. The path to happiness and to fulfillment is something that these institutions are telling people not to do. And that's basically what I think the corruption is. The corruption is it puts people on a career pipeline that causes them to chase things and will make them miserable and unhappy. And so they get in positions of power, and then they project that misery and unhappiness on the rest of society. And again, when you hear people, he means women. He's trying to code it. But what he means is women. And then he says what he just said. So in other words, he's doing the Harrison Butker line. You guys remember the kicker from the Chiefs who was like, "Everyone, congratulations on your graduation here. However, for those of you with tap, tap, tap vaginas, pretty sure you'll realize that the best thing you could do with your life is push a little baby's head through that vagina. Anyway, that's cool that you got your degree." Like, that's all this is. And remember the backlash that Butker got for his comments? That's exactly what JD Vance is saying. He is saying in a collegiate atmosphere, in a university background, this is all fine and good, but why are all these women getting higher education? Like, why are all these women getting degrees? Why are all these women going to work for McKinsey? Don't they realize that's a man's job and they're never going to be fulfilled? Like, this is the same, like, you remember how viral that Butker commencement went? He's hawking the same misogynistic, disrespectful, cringe-ass shit. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuationroom. Do it.